all that.
I was
that
listening.
was beautiful.
I was listening.
That was so beautiful. You were listening. I'm so sorry to get mad. That was so beautiful,
I would listen to
babe.
you.
You do genuinely care for me.
I do. I listen. I just think it's funny because you think that I'm not listening, that I'm making light of it, but I'm genuinely listening and I'm asking the genuine questions. They just
But you're great at
maybe it's
that.
just because I'm cold.
Coming to you from 125 Carver in Waco, Texas, it's the Riverside Weekly. We hope your time with us today is thought-provoking, spiritually challenging, and a life-changing experience. Our discussions are fun, real, and at times very uncomfortable. We highly encourage all of our guests and listeners to like and subscribe, and please ring the bell. Now, here are your hosts, Pastor Cello and Pastor Mia.
Welcome, everybody. It's
Good morning,
Wednesday.
good morning. How you guys
morning. Buenos dias.
Did you just say buenos dias?
I did. Yay.
She's been watching Encanto?
Encanto? No, I work at a Mexican restaurant.
I know, but I'm just like...
Encanto too, pero I only know...
She said pero.
I only know Bruno. What does Macy always say? We don't talk about Bruno, no. But she don't say Bruno. She says, we don't talk about no. Because she confuses Bruno with no. I don't know. Anyway, welcome everybody.
Good morning.
Wednesday.
What's up, guys?
And yes, that's why I was talking about Buenos Dias, is because that's what I'm talking about today, the language.
Okay.
I know, right? I love surprising you because it just blows my mind when I can do that. I was just going to say I have like 1,000 things I want to talk about every podcast.
I know.
But we need like a podcast for all those thoughts, you know? And I know that if you follow our Patreon or you join our Patreon, you can get some of those conversations because we did put a camera in our vehicle so that we could record some of them.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, it really is, because one of the things I was going to talk about in the car, I was like, we probably shouldn't talk about that. But then I was like, oh, our Patreon followers would enjoy that. So if you want some of that background, not background conversation, but what do you call those?
Behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes conversations. Follow our Patreon and subscribe, and you can subscribe at different levels in order for you to...
$5.
Well, that's for pictures. That's
some videos
too.
Yeah, some videos.
But it's not the best. The best.
No, it's not the top. It's not the top
Not
package.
the top tier, okay? It's not the top package. You know, like when your kids used to take pictures at school and they'd give you the one picture, the one large picture, 5x7 with the 4 little ones on the side. That was
proof.
the $7.99. Yeah, and it said proof. That was the $7.99 packet, and then it went up to $8.99. Then it went
Ours
to
starts out at $5.
But I'm just saying,
$5 a month.
That's how it is. And then
So thank you for subscribing to $5 a month. Appreciate it.
you're welcome.
Thank
The
you so
one
much.
subscriber that you have. No,
Well,
I'm just kidding. Our
Our goal is 50. We got 50.
Okay.
And our goal is 50. We've got 7 folks right now.
Ah, look at that.
7 people.
Nice,
Subscribe, man. So
nice.
appreciate
Thank
y'all.
you 5 people that are following us, because the other 2 are me and you.
Me and you.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know how many is on there. I just like to tease him. But I hope you guys enjoyed last week's podcast. That was so much fun, and I'm going to kind of build off of that.
Okay.
Well, sort of. I don't know. We'll just see where it goes. But today I wanted to talk about something intently, and I wanted to say that, you know, there is a couple of things that, anyway, I don't even know how to start this topic or this subject, but
My palms are sweating.
I know, right? Trying to dry it and stuff. But it's not bad at all. Actually, I was just having a conversation with my boss. And as I've told you before, I work for a Mexican restaurant. And that's why I said Buenos Dias, because that is the thing we say in the morning when people come in. And then I have to watch my watch, because then at 12, you know, you say switch over to Buenos Tardes and that type of thing. But I'm learning Spanish. And that's a cool thing, because I never learned Spanish before. And I think it's crazy, because the more that I've been working there, the people telling me, oh, you're getting better, but really I'm not. They're just like, now you can communicate with us, you know? So today I want to talk about communication skills.
Frijoles, please.
most people like to say when they talk about Spanish, just put an O at the end of it. No, it doesn't work.
Taco. Hello.
Uno. No.
Marcelo.
It doesn't work that way. But
Marco.
stop it, Polo. Okay, stop it. Anyway, saying all that to say that communication is a big deal, especially in several languages. I can sign also, and that happens when I lose my voice or if I get around deaf people and hard of hearing people. Immediately, I just go into that language. When I'm at work, immediately I want to immediately speak Spanish. And then when I'm with Americans, I just don't want to talk to them at all, but, that's just me.
English, folks.
English, thank you. But the English language is so difficult anyway, but we know English, so we don't say that, but other people say that, right? So what I want to say is, me and my boss were having a conversation because she's teaching me not just the dialect, but the proper, not even the proper, but how to communicate and translating from English into Spanish for me, right? So that I can communicate. And she said something to me that really, really affected me, and I've been really thinking
Offended
about
you,
it.
maybe?
No, it affected me.
Impacted you.
Impacted me. So I want to tell you guys because it was something big, but she said to me, the English language is so cold. And I thought, did she say old? She said, no, it's cold. And I thought, why is it cold? She said, you guys really don't care about each other. You just go and you talk to each other and you're like, hi, how are you? Have a good day. And you're so short with people and you're not really caring about them and checking on them and you really didn't want to ask the question.
Now that part is real.
Okay. And she
Why
said,
do you say good morning? Because you have to.
Really, that's what she's saying. And, it's funny because I was talking to my brother about this and he says, sister, I just nipped it in the bud. He said, and now I just say, thank you. When somebody says, hey, how are you doing this morning? Good, thank you. He says, cut the conversation off. He said, why should we continue a conversation that neither one of us really want to have, especially if we're just in passing and we got to have this long drawn out conversation that we really don't even are really caring.
I think you should clarify that his family's from Mexico.
Yes, it is. It is correct. And so what I thought was interesting is that he has acclimated to, and his family is from Mexico, but he is from here, and he's acclimated to it's too early for you?
Really, it's very early. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
You need coffee. He has acclimated to the English and American culture, so he's used to it, but he's still,
He understands.
Yes,
he understands both cultures.
Yeah. So it was so funny because basically what was happening is one of my coworkers asked me, and he sent it to me because I don't know it. So he sent it to me in English. And what she asked me was, let me put on my glasses, y'all. She asked me, ¿Cómo amaneciste? And I thought, oh, I don't know that one. That's not buenos dias. So I didn't know what that was, right? And they laugh at me, and their funny phrase all the time is "ay mía," because I meant lo siento. I don't even know that you eat that cultures, what the different cultures eat. Like what they eat. What did we say? What do Asians eat for breakfast? And we said we don't know because we're not Asian, right? Same thing. Well, I didn't know that most Spanish people or people from Mexican descent eat tortillas with every meal.
That's a given.
Okay, but I'm acclimated to the American culture because I was brought up here. Even though I'm Hispanic or Mexican and both and Indian, I don't eat tortillas like that.
That sounds something personal.
Well, it could be. It could be. But either way, when I turn in an order, I forget to ask, what kind of tortillas would you want? And that's like saying, they're like offended. See what I mean? You're already laughing.
I'm laughing because you're saying it's culture. It's not culture. That's you. Because I remember the kids would be getting up, me and the kids would get upset. We're like, you bought everything for sandwiches, but you didn't buy no cheese? Well, I don't eat cheese.
I do eat cheese though. I just don't eat cheese on my sandwiches.
But you didn't buy cheese. Like you would
I don't
go
like
to the grocery.
sandwich cheese.
I know, but you would.
I don't like sandwich cheese. I don't like sandwich cheese. Okay, all right.
I
like block cheese.
Blockhead. So, it's funny because it's not a cultural thing. You're saying.
Okay, I'm just using that as an example.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I'm telling you why I'm laughing is because you're like, well, I don't know the culture. No, it's not culture. It's that you don't eat tortillas, you don't eat bread, you don't eat rolls.
Yeah.
So you're not thinking to ask. It's not culture. That's just you don't eat that. It's like somebody that doesn't use salt. They're not sitting down going, where's the salt?
Yeah.
Like I don't use salt.
Yeah.
So when somebody gives me, hey, here's salt and pepper. Like I'll use pepper on my hamburger. If I'm eating a hamburger, I'll ask for some pepper, maybe some salt for my fries, maybe. But most of the time, overall, generally, I'm not asking for salt or pepper.
Yeah.
So I don't ask for it. So if you come to me and I serve you a meal, I'm not thinking, give them salt and pepper.
That's me.
I'm not doing that. So I just thought it was funny that you're like, well, it's culture. It ain't culture. That's just
okay, but it is. Americans generally don't eat tortillas.
Every American that goes into a Mexican restaurant, they want tortillas, whether it's crispy, whether it's in tortilla chips, get it, tortilla chips. If they're wanting a burrito, tacos, street tacos.
Okay, fine. It's a Mia thing. Again, here we go back to what I said. Ay, Mia. Okay? Because they say that. They think it's so funny that I forget. And they just say that all the time. But there's a lot of things that I don't do that, it could be, some could be culture.
No, I agree with you.
Some are culture.
Some of it could be culture.
Okay? Now, I will say this. When she said that, I wasn't offended, but it impacted me like gut-wrenching. Just right in my gut, because she was like, the Americans are so cold. They don't really ask that. And what I was asking was, how was your morning? How is your morning? And really what she said was, it's not really how is your morning, but how did you wake up? She said, it is really a term of endearment. She really wants to know, this is Marina explaining to me, my coworker. She said she really wants to know how you feel this morning and how you woke up. And I thought,
I don't want tortillas.
Just kidding. Why must you pick on me?
I'm sorry, it's funny.
Anyway, so just saying that I was really pouring my heart out, and you just broke my heart in a million pieces. You gave me a pen. I gave you my heart, and you gave me a pen.
Oh man, go ahead.
Anyway, so she told me, she said she genuinely wants to know how you are this morning, how you woke up. She put care and thought into it to ask you that, not buenos dias. Like, how are you? Good morning.
Okay.
Because she didn't want to nip it in the bud.
I know, but
she wanted to have a conversation with me.
Okay, that was my next question. So is she waiting for you to be like, well, I got up this morning and my back was kind of sore and had a little scratchy throat, and when I went to the restroom, it wasn't solid. I mean, like, what is she asking? I mean,
She's
like, is that what
genuinely caring.
So she wants to know all that.
I don't know. Americans, I don't know.
No, I'm just saying that's the difference.
I'm done.
Oh my gosh, that's what I'm saying. That's when is that the culture? That's what I'm asking. Is that like?
Oh no, I'm not from that culture.
So finish telling me why I didn't pick.
I'm done.
You can't be done because we're still rolling.
I'm done. What do you want me to do?
I want you to finish.
I cannot finish. You don't want to hear what I have to say.
I'm listening.
You are not genuinely interested in what I have to say.
No, I am. That's why I'm asking. It's funny.
They might be, but you're not.
Okay, well, finish so that they can hear.
Anyway, as I was saying, she was just saying how Americans are so cold, and it made me think about after she explained all that to me, she made me think about friendships really and communication I'm not a great friend. I say that all the time because I don't call my friends. You have to tell me, call so-and-so to check on them. Call so-and-so to check on them. It's not that I'm not genuinely concerned for my family and my friends. It's just that I'm busy, or that I'm busy doing nothing, or I don't want to. What did my brother say? I don't want to have a conversation that it's gonna be empty. We're not really genuinely having this conversation, because to me, a genuine conversation should be in person, over coffee, over bread, over. I don't eat bread, so but just saying, it's got to be the right kind of bread, but. Just saying, to breaking bread and having a meal and genuinely listening to what you have to say, so that you can look in my eyes and I can look in yours, right?
Yes.
Anyway,
I'm listening to you.
but you're making fun of me, and it's very difficult to continue. Anyway, so I was just going to talk about that today, and just talk about how it made me think about what a real friendship is, and how we as Americans really communicate with each other.
So what I hear you saying is it made you reevaluate the relationships you have, and that it made you think, when I ask somebody or say good morning or how was your morning, are your words empty or do you really care?
Yeah. All that.
I was
that
listening.
was beautiful.
I was listening.
That was so beautiful. You were listening. I'm so sorry to get mad. That was so beautiful.
I would listen to
babe.
you.
You do genuinely care for me.
I do. I listen. I just think it's funny because you think that I'm not listening, that I'm making light of it, but I'm genuinely listening, and I'm asking the genuine questions.
But
maybe
you're great at
maybe it's
that.
just because I'm cold.
No, you're just a great chess player.
No, because I ask. Because I'm very
calculated moves.
I'm very analytical.
You are.
I'm very inquisitive. I want to know, and so to hear you say it impacted you and it made you think about relationships, and then you're like, that our English language is cold, right?
Well, that really gave me a pinch in the
Well, it's for
arm.
you. I understand.
Lit a fire under my
Well, for
butt.
you, it may have made you have a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
But when I'm having conversations, that's me speaking Spanish. That's me being, what was the word you used? Term of endearment, or what did you say? Passion. What did you say? You said something passion. I can't remember what you said.
What, genuinely interesting?
Yeah, like they're asking when they're doing it, and when they're asking the questions, or when they're saying those phrases. To me, when I'm asking, when I ask somebody how's it going, I'm not like, how's it going?
Well, I know. We already talked about you being an unfriendly neighbor, and you're one of the unfriendliest pastors that I know.
But that's the appearance of it. Like,
I know.
But it's not like I'm not. If you know me, then you know. Like, I'm gonna send you text messages.
Why don't you say hi to our neighbors?
I do. I can't be friends with everybody if they want to be friends.
Oh.
I mean, I like alligators, but I'm not petting them. Right?
Type thing.
I'm just saying, you can be friendly, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're
genuinely concerned for them.
Well, that you're cold, or that you're
It
genuinely.
could be that you're cold and calculated.
Sometimes I am, but at the same time, I'm saying for me, when I'm asking, if I send a text message to you, or if I make a phone call, or if I'm asking you, I'm not asking you to be friendly. I'm asking you because I care. I want it. How
and
are
I'm
you
not
doing?
saying that. I do. When I do talk to somebody, and I do go to lunch or coffee or with them, I do listen to them, and I'm genuinely listening. I'm just not like you, where you can retain all that information. That's why your head is so big, because you have all that information in there. I'm just teasing, babe.
No, it's real. I got a big head, bro.
But
I had to fill out the rest of my body to make sure that my head was balanced.
Okay, Miles.
I look like a toothpick with an olive on the top.
Anyway, we make fun of all our grandkids because they all have big heads
They got their grandpa's head.
Yes, they do. But
big old head,
I'm
bro.
just saying, I genuinely listen to their conversations, and when I do give the people the time, and I'm on the call, or I'm on the texting, or we're, engaged. But this one just really made me reevaluate thinking. And every day, we don't know what somebody's going through. We really don't. And it's funny because another thing that actually poked at me before that, several weeks back, I asked my friend, my other coworker, I asked her, I said, how are you doing today? And she says, I'm okay. And I thought, nobody ever says that. We always say, I'm fine. But she said, I'm okay. And I thought, whoa, that's new. I've never heard people say that, and I'm like, well, what
me-
does that mean?
well,
Are you
yeah,
okay? Are you
exactly.
not okay? Should
me,
I be
what-
investigating? You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Like if somebody tells me I'm okay, I'm like, all right, let's sit down, let's talk. Like we're gonna, like I'll shut a meeting down. I'll
Yeah.
stop everything I'm doing. Like okay, what does that mean? And I mean, I've just over the years, if you say, well, I'm good. Okay, how good? What's good?
Oh.
How, I used to ask my students all the time, how, like Mia, how's everything in Miaville?
Yeah.
And that's like, how's everything, and whoever it was,
Yeah.
whatever the name is, and I'd put the veal at the end of it, and then I would literally make them answer, like, are the drug dealers, what's going on in the drug dealer, what's going on the bad side of town,
Yeah.
so I'm asking these questions because I genuinely care, and the English language is cold, so you have to ask those questions in order to get.
You gotta tink,
Yeah,
tink,
you gotta.
tink. No. It's the Seven Dwarfs. We dig, 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 dig. The one,
Yeah.
whatever.
So but I guess I can see how
Where she saw that, right?
where she can see that.
Yeah.
If people are, I think
They're patronizing.
yeah,
That's the word.
I think some of it is not so much that. Well, it is culture, but I think it's just because people they
Genuinely don't care.
They don't really care. They're doing things because they're taught to,
Yeah.
because they're supposed to.
Yeah.
This is the etiquette. This is what's correct
Yeah.
politically, in that culture, American culture or whatever it is. But we genuinely don't really care. It's kind of like hugging, right? There are people that
Tell me.
hug. There are people that give hugs because they just we're in service, and so we're going to give hugs.
Okay.
But then there are people that like, I'm going to hug you even if you don't want to get hugged.
Oh, I got friends like that.
It's like,
I
I'm going to
have
hug you.
friends
Like, I'm going to
that.
hug you because I'm a hugger.
I have
hug.
friends. No, I have friends that hug because they say that the endorphins, which we've talked about before on another podcast up there, that their endorphins raise, as you're hugging. And I don't know what Amy Sulu called it, but shout out to Amy because her birthday's tomorrow. But she was talking about when I hug you that you melt. I'm going to melt that ugliness off of you, and then people start crying.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of like the English language, right? So there are people that hug because they're supposed to. It's required, expected. But then there are people that hug because they genuinely care. Like me, I'm a hugger. Like the same way that I have a conversation, that's
You're
how
a
you
patter. You're not really a hugger.
And all the people that I hug are going, no, he's a hugger. And so
Go ahead, write me and tell me, or Skype me, or maybe you'll fight me. But anyway, just kidding. That's my son's line.
So when I hear what you're saying, like she says the English language is cold. I don't know. I don't think it's necessarily the language as much as it is the culture.
Oh.
To me.
Oh.
Because
That makes sense.
I fight against it. Because I can agree with her. Like the American culture is very cold. It's very, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. And it's funny that you say that because yes, you're right. And just thinking about that now that as you're talking, I'm processing. These older men come in. They're the dons, and they come in and they sit together and they come every morning. They're drinking coffee and other tables are coming in and we're serving the other tables. And somebody was asking me about the food truck, that I have. And so I was like, we're still working on it, da, da, da. And we stood there and he was like, oh, you can go here and this and that. He's just trying to tell me where, right? I walked past the Don table and they're like, I don't know what he was saying, obviously, because I don't speak Spanish, but it was something about, you should be working, trabajo is what I heard, and something about, no, but you're over there, just talking and talking and talking instead of working. And I'm like, but you don't come to this table, because I heard mesa, and he said, you don't come to this table and hang out and talk like that. And I'm like, I wanted to tell him so bad, because I can't communicate. Hello? Did I not just say that I can't speak Spanish? I'm learning. So I just thought it was so funny because I was like, what? But for them.
Seems to me like
No, that's not sign language.
Tell me what it is.
That's stuff you made up, okay? Anyway.
Same thing.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Don't get me on my soapbox. Whew, okay. No, but just saying that it just
made a whole bunch of people mad.
Yes, you did. It just blew my mind because they were genuinely like, ugh, you didn't get offended that I did not come to their table and check on them, And
How was your day?
Yes.
Is your bunions okay?
Well, Don Joe is the oldest, and he's across the street, and he's there like clockwork, right? And he's like, "Hola, mia," and he says, "How are you this morning?" He's trying his best to speak English to me, and he's like, "You got to learn Spanish because I don't know a lot."
It's America.
See, there's that cold, calculated, and
Speak American.
And what'd you say? Matter of fact.
Speak American. We don't speak Native American. We speak American.
I just wanted to bring that up because it really lit a fire under my butt to actually learn to not only communicate in different languages, but for us to think about the way we communicate. Are we really, truly, genuinely interested in that person, or are we just there to patronize and be like, yeah, okay, bye. Yeah, good morning. Anyway, and move on about our coffee and our business. We shouldn't be that.
Welcome to America.
Ew. I don't know if I want to be in America now. You know what I mean?
Welcome to our city.
You're right. No wonder why when they come to this restaurant that they got offended that I was speaking English because this was their little community. And they were away from all the matter-of-fact America people, And so I was just like, oh, no wonder why they care so deeply, And it's crazy because I'm not even their server, and they still tip me in the restaurant. I'm
That's
like,
what's up?
I'm just like, but it's the conversation.
Cash App, no.
And that's what Marina says is they just come here because they just want to talk. They genuinely want to see how the community is doing. So they hang around for like hours to see who's going to come in and who isn't going to come in. To me, that's so cool.
It's like a barbershop.
Yeah. I think
or a salon.
I'm thinking
Let me come in here and get some tea or coffee.
Some tea. I need to find out the juice, what's going on. But they do, but I don't know what's going on. What I thought was really cool was the Mexican channel stays on the station, and there was something about some singer or whatever. And then we go to an American restaurant and the same thing is on there. And I'm like, oh, wow. But the sound was off and the waiter was Spanish speaking. So I had to ask her, what is going on that she's on both stations? She's on the Mexican channel and the American channel, But they have it on there. So I'm learning. Me and the novellas are like, ooh, who died? But I don't know what's going on. So I'm learning. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that because I hope that this podcast lights a fire under your butt too, so to say, are you really just patronizing those people that you're passing by that might not ever have had someone?
I don't even think, I think deeper than that. I think not just the people that you're passing by in the grocery store. I think it's just people that you pass by.
The people that you meet each day.
The people that you're working with, the people that you go to church with, the people that you go to school with, like, because we see them every day, but hey, how's it going this morning? And it's like, I don't really want to know how's it going this morning.
I don't remember a movie. There was a movie that we watched, and some young girl was like, no one cares. I could just fall off the face of this earth, and no one would ever care, and I could just kill myself. Do you remember seeing that in some movie we just watched? And anyway, the guy could hear her thoughts or whatever, her boss, and ended up making her something.
Mel Gibson. What Women Want.
No, was the original one was in that, but we just recently saw a movie, and it was the same girl as the 13 going on 30 girl. Yes.
Okay.
Somebody out there knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, so yes, you don't know what somebody's going through. Genuinely be interested in their conversation. Genuinely
care about them.
Care about them. Let's care about people because we don't know what they're going through. We don't know who they are seeing and who they're not. And I know we've talked about this before, but it's crazy how a language barrier and me learning Spanish and her learning English, how that actually reminded me about that, So anyway, we genuinely care for you guys. So that's why we continue to do this podcast and make you laugh, because laughter is the best medicine for sadness and depression and a lot of things.
So when we get off here, we're always sad and depressed. No.
No, don't be. Go watch another episode. How's that? Anyway, love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. Thanks for joining in. And don't forget to go check out the Patreon because we could use your support.
I'll let you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Riverside Weekly. Download the Riverside Waco app to stay connected and follow us on all social media sites at the Riverside Waco. This podcast is made possible by the givers of Riverside Community Church. Production and engineer provided by Capital G and RTV in Waco, Texas.